Dear friend, have you ever found yourself walking through your home, but needing to steady your hand on a wall or the edge of a table? Have you ever hesitated at the edge of a step, not because your foot hurt, but because you feared your balance might give way? If so, you're not alone. Many older adults in America, even those who've never fallen, have begun to feel a quiet uncertainty in every step they take. The body slows down, reflexes become less sharp, and slowly, the trust we once had in our own legs begins to fade. But here's the part we often overlook. Losing balance isn't always about age or illness. More often than not, it comes from small, repeated habits, the kind we've lived with for years without giving them a second thought. Maybe it's the house slippers that no longer grip the floor, or the way we've stopped walking without holding on to something. Sometimes it's as simple as a hallway that's just a little too dark at night. I'm not here to add to your worries. I'm here to gently remind you of something important. You don't have to let this continue. The answer isn't complicated. You don't need to make big changes. You just need to notice what's quietly weakening your balance and begin to shift it step by step. In this video, I'll walk with you through 5 common mistakes many older adults unknowingly make, and more importantly, the simple ways you can avoid them. If you're still with me, I invite you to stay a little longer, because a steady step doesn't just keep us safe, it also helps us hold on to something even more valuable, a quiet kind of freedom that still belongs to us right here, right now. When we talk about balance, most people think of the brain, the core, the hips, but few truly pay attention to where every step begins: the feet and the ankles. Do you still remember how it felt when you were younger, walking briskly, climbing slopes without thinking, crossing grassy paths without ever worrying about tripping these days? Even a small step down from a curb might make you pause just to be sure you won't lose your footing. But this shift doesn't always come from aging. It often begins when we quietly stop letting our feet do their job. After years of wearing soft shoes, walking only on smooth hardwood or thick carpeted floors, the tiny muscles in our feet begin to grow lazy. Our ankles, once flexible and quick to respond, become stiff, slower to react when our balance wavers. And over time, movements we once did without a second thought, turning quickly, stepping backward, sidestepping an object, start to feel like something we hesitate to attempt. Not because we're suddenly weak, but because our feet, our very foundation, have forgotten how to stay sharp. When the feet aren't strong, the rest of the body has to compensate. The shoulders tighten, the hips tense up. We lean forward just in case. And with that, our walk starts to lose its steadiness. Each step becomes more cautious, carrying more worry than confidence. But here's the good news our feet can remember. They've never truly lost their ability to feel the ground, to support us, to adjust quickly when needed. All they need is a bit of attention, a bit of gentle challenge each day, and they begin to wake up again. If you're still with me now, ask yourself gently, when was the last time your feet touched the earth? Not through socks or shoes, but truly connected. You don't need to walk far. Sometimes, just standing still, closing your eyes for a moment, and feeling the floor beneath your bare feet, that alone is a beautiful way to begin. If you'd like, feel free to share what you notice about your own feet in the comments below. I'm always curious to know what others still feel in that quiet place where our body first meets the world. And once your feet begin to remember how to balance again, we'll move on to another mistake, a quiet one, yet just as important to understand. Very few people think of balance as something we need to train as a skill, just as important as walking or stretching after 60. We might take morning walks, we might stretch our arms to loosen up, but we often forget that balance, too, is something we can lose quietly if we stop paying attention to it. You may have felt it before. You haven't fallen, but you no longer feel steady walking down a set of stone steps. You're not exactly weak, but your body hesitates when turning quickly or stepping over a smooth rug. That's when we begin to be careful, to the point where, without meaning to, we teach our bodies to stop adjusting. The less we move freely, the less chance the body has to stay sharp. Muscles forget how to respond. The nervous system grows slower at sending those small but vital signals. Eventually, Every step feels like a question mark, no longer the trusted movement it once was. But regaining balance isn't complicated. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. What you do need is to be present in the small, quiet moments when your body moves. Maybe it's standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. Maybe it's walking slowly along an invisible line through the hallway. Maybe it's pausing with your eyes closed, feeling how your body shifts its weight ever so slightly. These small moments, the ones that seem too simple to matter, are exactly how we reawaken the balance system that's been quietly falling asleep. Don't wait until you're gripping a chair just to stand up. By the time the body forgets how to react to the unexpected, every step carries a quiet risk. You don't have to do much, but you do need to do it often. No need to challenge yourself. Just don't forget this part of you still exists. Think back, when was the last time you crossed an uneven path? How did your body respond? If you'd like, share it with me in the comments below. Sometimes, just putting it into words can help the body remember what's worth waking up again. And once you start noticing balance as part of everyday life, we'll move on to another habit, a small one, but one that quietly affects every step we take inside the place we call home. Most people don't think twice about the shoes they wear around the house. But those soft slippers, so ordinary and familiar, play a much bigger role in our safety than we realize. Have you ever felt your foot slip slightly as you walked across a damp tile floor? Or maybe you caught yourself stepping unevenly on smooth wood between the living room and kitchen. Those moments come and go quickly, but they leave your heart racing because deep down you know a single misstep could have gone differently. It's not that we're weaker now. It's that the shoes meant to support us simply no longer do. Some slippers are soft and cozy, but they offer no grip, especially on slick surfaces. Worn soles, loose fits, socks without traction, all of them quietly reduce how well our feet can feel the ground beneath us. And in the place we feel safest, our own home, that sense of comfort can sometimes turn into a false sense of security. A slipper that slides, a thin rug that shifts with each step, or dim lighting in the hallway at night. Any of these can quietly lead to a loss of balance in a single instant. As we get older, our reflexes aren't as quick as they once were. If our feet aren't being properly supported, if the floors we walk on no longer feel steady, then our whole body must tense up just to move a few steps, even if it's just to walk from the bed to the bathroom. Taking care of your feet doesn't begin with a pair of sturdy shoes for going outside. It begins inside your home, where you take most of your steps, every single day. A well-fitting pair of indoor shoes with a firm sole and a gentle heel grip can help you stand more easily, walk more steadily, and most importantly, feel less anxious about moving around at night. Take a moment and look at what you're wearing on your feet right now. Are they still sturdy? Do the soles still grip? And when you walk, do you feel truly grounded? Sometimes a small change can make a very real difference. You don't need to spend much. You just need something that works for your body, something that helps you feel safe and steady with every step you take. If this feels true for you, feel free to share your thoughts below. I believe many of us have overlooked this small detail until the day we realize how much peace and safety it can bring back into our lives. And once your steps feel supported again, we'll take a look at another habit, a quiet one that slowly teaches our body to stop trusting itself without us even knowing it. Sometimes you might catch yourself resting a hand on the back of a chair, the edge of a table, or a familiar wall as you make your way through the hallway. Maybe walking across the room without anything to hold on to doesn't feel quite steady anymore. Or maybe you just feel safer when something is within reach, even if it's only for reassurance. And that's completely understandable. After a certain age, confidence in our movement doesn't come as naturally as it once did. But here's something we often forget: the body's a learning system. And if we keep sending it the message that we can't stand without support, then over time, it will stop trying. The muscles that used to engage on their own, the core, the hips, the knees, they start to slow down. They grow less responsive, less willing to step in when our balance falters. This doesn't happen overnight. It builds over time, each time we reach for the wall after waking up. Each time we avoid a slick floor unless we're gripping the counter. Each time we choose the safe way and accidentally teach the body to forget how to adjust on its own. Balance, like any ability, isn't just instinct, it's something we have to practice. When we stop giving it chances to work, it quietly fades away until one day we realize we can't take a step without holding on to something. But the good news is the body remembers. It really does. Just a few small actions each day can gently remind your body what it once knew. Stand without holding on even for 10 or 15 seconds. Walk from the kitchen to the living room without reaching for the arm of the chair. Little steps like these, repeated often, can slowly rebuild that quiet trust in your movements. Because what matters isn't how far you walk, but how you feel when you do. That feeling of control, of ownership over your own body, that's where your strength still lives. And the beautiful part is, this can begin right inside your home where you already know every turn, every corner. If you've ever noticed yourself depending a little too much on furniture, you're not alone. Many of us have been there, and step by step, we found our way back to trusting our own feet again. Feel free to share your experience below sometimes. Telling your story is the best way to remind yourself what's possible. And once you begin to trust your body again, we'll turn to something often overlooked yet deeply tied to your sense of balance, your vision and the quiet workings of the inner ear. When most people think about balance, they picture the legs, the knees, or maybe the spine. But few realize that it's actually the eyes and the inner ear, those seemingly unrelated parts that play a central role in helping us stay upright every single day. Have you ever walked from a bright room into a darker hallway and felt a slight sense of imbalance, or suddenly felt dizzy after turning your head quickly or looking up too fast? These moments come and go, and we often brush them off, thinking it's just part of getting older. But in truth, your body may be gently trying to tell you that you've been overlooking something essential in your balance system. Our eyes don't just help us see clearly. They help us detect changes in floor height, judge distances between steps, and sense the subtle shifts between light and shadow within our daily living spaces. When vision becomes weaker, when glasses are outdated, or when the lighting at home isn't quite right, the brain receives less accurate information and our steps grow more hesitant, less certain. The inner ear, often forgotten, is what helps us sense motion, gravity, and orientation. It tells us whether we're tilting to the left or the right, whether we're turning or standing still. But when this system weakens even just slightly, the body loses its ability to make those fast, automatic adjustments. And that's especially true in crowded places or under dim lighting. Many older adults feel dizzy, off balance, or experience minor stumbles without ever thinking to check their eyes or inner ear. They tell themselves it's just aging, or maybe poor sleep, and then live with that quiet unease, day after day. But here's the hopeful part. Most issues related to vision and the vestibular system can be improved if we catch them early. A proper pair of glasses, better lighting in the hallway, a few simple exercises to stimulate balance. You don't need dramatic changes, just small adjustments that help your brain remap the world around you and help your body feel safer, more certain with each step. Caring for your eyes and ears isn't something to wait on until there's a serious problem. It's part of preserving the freedom to move on your own, something we all hope to hold on to for as long as we can. An annual eye exam, a gentle conversation with your doctor about recent spells of dizziness, a closer look at your reading light or hallway lamp. These aren't just acts of maintenance, they're quiet ways of honoring your body's ability to stay steady and present both inside your home and out in the world. If you've ever noticed signs like slight disorientation, tripping in the dark, or feeling off balance when standing up, perhaps it's time to gently check in on your vision, your ears, and the light around you. And if you feel like sharing something from your experience, I'd love to hear it. Sometime, one quiet story is all it takes for someone else to recognize something they've overlooked. When your eyes see more clearly and your inner ear finds its sense of direction again, you don't just regain your balance, you also lighten the mind. And from there, each step returns to feeling familiar, no longer filled with fear, but with quiet ease. Dear friend, at this stage of life, perhaps we've stopped chasing the grand things. What we hope for now is something simpler to feel at peace within our own body, to take a step without fear, to stand up without quickly looking for something to hold on to, and to find that kind of quiet confidence. We don't always need to make big changes. Sometimes it's enough to listen again, to move with care, to be gentle with each part of ourselves. A little attention to our feet, our vision, our balance, things that once came naturally. Because when the body feels steady, the mind begins to settle too. There's a quiet strength in that. Freedom, for us now, is no longer about how far we can go or how much we can do. It's being able to walk across the kitchen in the morning without stumbling. It's watering the garden or checking the mail without needing a helping hand. That is independence, soft-spoken, but deeply precious. Only those who've lost it know just how valuable it truly is. If you're still listening now, I believe something inside you has quietly awakened. Maybe a habit you'd like to change. Maybe someone you love who needs to hear this too. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, or send this video to someone you care about as a quiet way of saying, I understand how you feel, and I want you to walk a little safer, a little stronger each day. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. And if tomorrow you find yourself walking with just a little more steadiness, then maybe, just maybe, we began in the right place today.